Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, you know.
I believe I was around 15 years old when I fell in love with Florence and the romanticism and the significance behind the city. I had learned about the Renaissance prior to that, but as a young kid, wasn't particularly interested in that period and didn't pay much attention. Something happened when my high school history teacher, Mr. Hawk, waxed poetic on the masters of the arts and how they owned their craft under the patronage of the Medici, Michelangelo, Donatello, Botticelli, Da Vinci, and more. I was enthralled and became enamored with going to Florence to walk in the footsteps of these artistic giants and to see Florence for myself. Since that moment, it has been a dream of mine to visit the birthplace of the Renaissance. Here are some of my top things to do in Florence in no particular order. The Duomo of Florence, or the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, is an iconic monument and the city's most recognizable landmark. Sitting in the heart of Florence, this spectacular Gothic-style cathedral ranks as one of Italy's most awe-inspiring attractions. If you're planning a trip to Florence and want to learn more about why the Duomo should be at the top of your list, keep listening. The Duomo de Firenze was designed by Arnolfo di Cambio in 1296, though it wasn't fully completed until 1436. The design of this structure is unique because it combines elements from both Gothic and Renaissance architecture. It stands at 183 meters tall and has one of the largest brick domes ever constructed in Europe. It was so large that at one point it was considered an engineering impossibility. The dome itself is decorated with a series of hexagonal coffers which have been intricately painted with various symbols and imagery from the Bible. The exterior of the cathedral features pink, white, and green marble with detailed sculptures depicting religious figures. Inside you will find a vast array of artworks, including Ghiberti's Gates of Paradise, a set of 10 gilded bronze doors that are considered masterpieces of Renaissance art. In addition to exploring all that this magnificent structure has to offer, travelers can also visit two other important landmarks nearby, Giotto's Campanile, which is the bell tower, and the Battistero de San Giovanni, which is the baptistry. Both are located just steps away from the Duomo and offer views that stretch across all of Florence. Visitors who climb to the top will be rewarded with stunning panoramas over Piazza del Duomo and beyond. If you're planning to visit the Duomo de Firenze, there are a few things to keep in mind. First and foremost, remember to dress appropriately. This means no clothing that exposes your shoulders, above the knees, or anything else that may be revealing. If you are wearing these types of clothing items, bring a shawl, scarf, or an extra shirt. Also try to arrive early. There are usually long lines waiting to enter due to its popularity of one of Florence's top tourist attractions. The next stop is the Piazza del Signoria. If you're looking for an iconic Florentine experience, look no further than the Piazza del Signoria. Piazza del Signoria is one of the oldest squares in Florence and has been an important landmark since the 13th century. It was originally used as a political center where citizens could gather and discuss important matters with city leaders. Its name comes from a nearby building called the Palazzo della Signoria, also known as Palazzo Vecchio, which was once used as a seat of government in Florence. Today, this building houses an art museum and is one of the main attractions in the piazza. Don't forget to relax at one of the outdoor cafes or restaurants while you're here. The first thing that will strike you when you enter the square is the sheer number of sculptures, from ancient marble statues to modern works of art that adorn it. Many of these sculptures are replicas of famous works such as Michelangelo's David and Donatello's Judith and Holofernes. Other famous works include Cellini's Perseus with the head of Medusa and Giambologna's Rape of the Sabines. It is also worth noting that most of these sculptures are placed where they were originally commissioned by the Medici family or other grand families who once ruled Florence. Now on to the two most famous galleries in Florence, the Uffizi and the Accademia. The Uffizi Gallery is one of the most famous art galleries in the world, and for good reason. This gallery houses thousands of pieces from the 13th century all through modern day. A trip here provides an opportunity to view masterpieces from some of humanity's greatest artists up close and personal, and will transport you back in time to the glory days of Italian art. The Uffizi is divided into several sections, each showcasing different works of art. Botticelli, Michelangelo, and ancient sculptures like the Apollo Belvedere and other classical antiquities. In addition to the many paintings on display, the gallery also has a collection of sculptures, including works by Ghiberti and Donatello. The Accademia Museum is another must-visit attraction. It contains some of Michelangelo's most famous sculptures, including David and St. Matthew, as well as paintings from other influential Renaissance artists such as Botticelli and others. Of course, the biggest draw to the Accademia is David. This masterpiece was sculpted between 1501 and 1504 and stands at 5 meters tall. Standing there in all its glory under a recreation of the Pantheon's dome, it was truly an experience that I will always cherish. The lighting was so perfect, drawing out every line, every detail that Michelangelo spent years crafting. Absolutely surreal. The next stop is a bridge. That's right, a bridge. The Ponte Vecchio has been an iconic symbol of Florence that attracts tourists from all over the world each year. The Ponte Vecchio, which means Old Bridge in Italian, is believed to have been built as early as 996 AD. It was originally used as a toll bridge for travelers crossing the Arno River and was made of wood and stone. In 1345, a flood destroyed much of the original structure and it was rebuilt out of stone and brick. The bridge has survived floods, wars, and even bombings during World War II, yet it remains standing today as a testament to its strength and durability. In 1565, Grand Duke Cosimo de' Medici had an ingenious idea to solve a problem. He ordered all butcher shops to be moved from other bridges in Florence to Ponte Vecchio because he thought it would be easier to clean up after them on one bridge and the smell was horrendous. This ended up being an incredibly smart decision, as today those same butcher shops are now luxury jewelry stores and art galleries that attract thousands of visitors each year. The Ponte Vecchio has been an integral part of Florence for hundreds of years and continues to draw on millions of tourists each year thanks to its cultural significance and breathtaking views. Whether you take part in shopping at some of the picturesque stores or simply admire its beauty from afar, it's definitely worth taking some time out of your trip to check out this iconic destination in Florence. For the most iconic views of Florence, Piazza Michelangelo takes the cake. Piazza Michelangelo is one of the most iconic sites in Florence. Located on a hilltop overlooking the city and the stunning Arno River, Piazza Michelangelo offers incredible views of the Duomo and surrounding landscape. The piazza was designed in 1865 and named after Florentine sculptor Michelangelo, who is arguably the most famous Florentine in history. Visitors can enjoy breathtaking panoramas while admiring replicas of some of Michelangelo's famous sculptures, including David and Moses. At night, Piazza Michelangelo lights up with illuminated terraces that make for a romantic evening stroll or a picture-perfect photo drop. For my next recommendation, you could spend an entire day exploring this. The Boboli Gardens has a long and fascinating history that dates back hundreds of years. The gardens were originally commissioned by Cosimo de' Medici, who was a Grand Duke of Tuscany in 1549 as an outdoor retreat from their palazzo, which was located nearby. The gardens were designed and laid out on a hillside over 45 acres overlooking Florence. Over the years, many additions were made to the gardens, including statues, fountains, grottos, and even an amphitheater where theatrical performances could be held. The Medicis used this as their private retreat until 1737 when they opened it up to visitors. Today it is one of Florence's main attractions, with over 1 million people coming from all over the world each year to enjoy. For an authentic Tuscan experience, this next spot is a perfect place. We discovered Villa Monteoriolo through friends of ours who went there for a private cooking class. Wanting to explore some of the Tuscan countryside, we decided this would be a great opportunity to combine a drive through the vineyards and our traditional Tuscan cooking experience. This could not have been more perfect. Driving our rented Ferrari, hey, when in Rome, or Florence for that matter, on the winding roads with the top down was such a treat. Smelling the crisp country air, seeing vineyards and olive orchards everywhere, and gorgeous Italian villas was enough for me. But alas, we had a day of cooking ahead of us. As we pulled up to the villa, my eyes lit up. Seeing this terracotta colored home with perfectly curated plants and trees reminded me of a postcard. As we parked, we were greeted by the Calame family. Eleonora, the matriarch of the family, took us on a tour of the property and home. We got the history of the villa, saw the most amazing views of the valley below, walked through the house and ended up in the kitchen. This is where the fun really began. We learned how to and actually made fresh pasta dough from scratch. Then we began to prepare the rest of the day's meal. Tomato sauce, Tuscan chicken with herbs, olives, capers, spinach and ricotta filling for the pasta, panna cotta with fresh peach puree. After we prepped all of that, we then moved into the dining room to make our raviolis and angel hair pasta. Eleonora showed us the different techniques to make raviola and how to roll the pasta out in different thicknesses for angel hair, fettuccine, or spaghetti. We had a blast making the pasta and just experiencing the passion this family has for their guests. Served wine throughout the day, sitting down to eat the fruits of our labor and soaking in the ambiance of this hundreds-year-old villa was absolutely amazing. I hope I have inspired you to visit and explore the beautiful and storied city of Florence. I fell in love with the city, the food, and the people and cannot wait until we return again. This trip was so amazing and provided me with memories for the rest of my life. If you liked my video, please subscribe and drop me a comment below. Until next time, ciao!
Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, you know I've been on a mission. Go. Okay, let's get it. Got a little time on my hands like a wristwatch. I don't got time for the breaks and the pit stops.